What was it? Some Indian proverb said it's only the white man believes that you can cut the top off a blanket, sew it to the bottom, and still make it bigger.
You can, Tim. Tim, you should just tell Proverbs.
Well, you can't. It does make sense. Like, it's
but
really
you have.
That's our rationale on that. I was like, all right, we'll just take it off the top, put it on the bottom.
Instead, you have to do it like a samurai movie accent the whole time. Japanese style.
Like Confucius say?
Well, that's Chinese. But no.
Go to sleep with itchy butt. Wake up with stinky finger.
Must sit in own pew.
It would be hilarious.
I'm a bitch.
He's not the greatest.
It's really almost.
How dare he say that?
But like I said, the problem I have is going. I listen to Dragon Force and I am better than them. And me going, I've seen 4 people play their songs. Yeah. That means that they're better than almost everybody.
Yeah, I saw some, like, he was like a Korean or Chinese kid that played and, like, totally kept up with it and everything. He was fucking amazing.
There's a fucking, some, like, 14-year-old girl that played it.
Yeah.
And then she added her own things in a couple of spots because she ended up pulling all the tracks from Guitar Hero. And so she could take out the tracks and play to the fucking rhythms of the song.
Yeah.
Right? And so she added a few little spots that were her own thing, which is really cool. The guitarist that plays that part was watching it, was like, well, that was actually pretty awesome that she changed that up right there and did this thing.
Made
she
it
was
a little
14,
bit her own. Yeah,
and then
that's impressive.
She just disappeared from the internet. Like one day.
Yeah, they put her back in her cage.
Yeah.
I don't know what country. I think she's in Europe somewhere.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Maybe she got kidnapped by
well, that's the
Muslim
thing. She's
rape
probably
gangs.
on some sort of fucking boat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the rape gangs that got her.
Kevin, we don't have to be so specific.
I'll have to find you. And I will kill you.
I'm just saying, it's a thing over there.
I have a set of skills.
Makes me a nightmare for people like you. He needs.
I like how you almost went into the Joker.
Do it like in a nerdy voice.
Makes me a nightmare for people like you.
I have acquired a set of skills.
A set of skills
that I'm gonna use.
The fat guy from fucking South Park, the fucking gamer guy
from the Warcraft one.
Dude.
He's all sitting back with his fucking like little brace on his arm.
There's a famous cosplay that a dude did of that.
Yeah.
That guy's dead though now.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, he died of COVID.
Well, there's also the guy that did like a perfect Peter Griffin too.
No, that's a different guy.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying there is a different guy that does Peter Griffin perfectly.
Is that recording?
Yeah, looks just like him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he sounds very close.
Yeah.
You know, no, I've seen that.
And then there's the TikTok guy that does the all of the voices from. Oh my goodness.
My Little Pony?
It's a terrible brain fart. Oh my god.
What is it,
I
Tim?
keep wanting to say Oddworld, but it's not Oddworld. It has nothing to do with odd.
Abe's Exodus.
Right? It's Jesus.
What was that? Is that the worm game?
No, Oddworld's the one with that weird green-looking guy.
No, which one's the worm?
That's Earthworm Jim.
Worms.
Oh, is it
Earthworm Jim?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't get that.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim was cool.
Yeah, I can pull that out, no fucking problem. But I can't come up with Rick and Morty off the top of my head for some fucking reason.
It was just Rick and Morty. It took you 20 fucking minutes to get to that. Jesus fucking Christ!
I have no fucking clue. Oh man.
Well, now I'm not mad at Jake anymore.
I tell you what, that's some brain fog tonight. It's good stuff.
Oh man.
My god.
Yeah.
Probably the nap. I shouldn't have taken a nap. The naps are no good, but they're
Is that
so
your appointment?
good.
They're nice.
No,
man.
I actually had an appointment.
I'd be so
after.
pissed. You're like, yeah, I just had a nap with my fucking couch cushion.
No, it got over a lot sooner than I thought it would. So I was fucking sacked out.
I thought about taking a nap when I got home. I was like, it's too early to stay up.
Dude, like, what the fuck, man? I never used to nap. Now it's amazing. I do it at least twice a week.
Well, it's because we're dying.
I know, right?
Called getting old, buddy.
Yeah, we're on the decline.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're like
dropping
down the line.
See, that's the thing. It's not that. It's bam,
No,
bam, bam,
it's
bam.
It's the low T is what it is.
It's all the way
down.
down.
Testosterone is pretty much fucking gone.
It's because
can fix
everything's made
that.
of plastic.
Well, yeah.
That's what I heard on the internet.
Well, the internet's true. It's
The
fucking
microplastic
garbage
shit.
we're eating and
Yeah.
all that shit, dude.
All the
phthalates
fucking
and shit.
what?
That's one of the things that's in the
Phthalates.
microplastics. Phthalates.
Oh,
It's one of those micro things that fucks with us.
I thought it was the thing from
Well, that and the lead and everything too. There's I mean, apparently there's a shit ton of lead in everything now.
No, they've gotten rid of most of the lead.
They got applesauce. They had to pull applesauce off the shelves because kids were getting lead poisoning from
Tim,
it.
if your kids can't have some fucking lead, then they shouldn't grow up to have kids.
We've obviously become
They can't. They had
pussies
too
'cause
much fucking
Hey,
lead.
I know.
back
'cause
in the
it
day,
kills
everything
balls
was made of
immediately.
lead, and those guys lived full fucking lives to 35.
Yeah, and you'd get black lung at like 13.
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
were in the fucking mines as a
fucking
child.
mines.
But
Yep.
eventually, you get used to it. You'd adapt.
Yeah. That's also back when we were like, oh man, this lady's acting crazy at her house. Let's give her a lobotomy.
Yeah.
That's how we
Or
treated
shock
things.
them.
Exactly.
Yeah, shock therapy was a huge
That
one.
was.
Oh, you know what?
enormous
It's funny
back.
because I was watching this documentary about asylums and like the reasons they would put like women in asylums back in the day, and one of them was not doing the house chores.
Yes. That was actually
They
a
would
thi-
literally put them
I
in
think
there
that
for
was.
that.
I think that was actually listed in psychosis back then.
I back
Yes,
that up.
it was.
I
It's
fully
insane.
support that.
You didn't do the fucking dishes. Oh man, we're
What
gonna
are you
have to,
crazy?
We're gonna get a doctor in
Yeah.
here. Check and see what's wrong with your brain.
Give you
Okay,
some
that out,
electroshock therapy.
Dude.
Yeah, it was crazy. The list was
look,
insane.
It's not as bad as though, like, let's go back a little further. Medieval times, like when they used to put you on not like the rack or some shit like
Or
that,
they burn you as a witch.
or the worst one, they would fucking put you on. What would they call? I think they just called it a something horse. But what it was basically a sawhorse, except it had a triangle up on the top, and they would force people to sit on it. And
Ooh, that sounds nice.
yeah, it sounds terrible because it would split you in half over time,
Oh.
very
Oh,
slowly.
that's not like
sounds
weights in your
so
ankles.
No,
or
they
something
didn't put
like that?
any weights on it. All they did is tie your legs to a certain spot, and then
Let gravity
like
do
your,
the rest?
and then, like your hands too. And yeah, gravity would fuck you up.
Wow.
Yeah, brutal shit.
Yeah.
Then
Because it wasn't sharp though. Obviously, it was just dull enough
it
to
was sharp. Dull enough to not like
kill you
cut
instantly.
through you,
Yeah.
but sharp enough to where the weight would just eat through your skin.
slowly just go. Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
We came up with some weird shit.
Dude,
back
Oh,
in
yeah.
the day.
Humans
They
came up
knew
with the
how to
most
torture
fucked
people
up
back
shit.
then.
All right.
What's the one where they would put people in a swamp and then they'd put them, they'd tie them up, put them in a boat, fill it with honey and fucking like milk, and then just let the insects eat them
Oh,
alive.
well, that's
That was another fun
neat.
torture.
Oh, I heard about
death.
that with ants and shit like
yeah,
that.
I forget the name of that. It has all these have very specific. I mean, drawn and quartered.
Oh yeah, drawing quarters brutal.
Yeah, you're dragged by a horse for a long
Uh-huh.
time, and then you're fucking cut into
Well,
five,
no,
four pieces.
there was
I
other
think.
ones where they would like tie each of your limbs to a different horse.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the horses would have them run in different directions.
Yeah.
And rip you to pieces.
That was one, but the main one were drawn and quartered,
Mm-hmm.
because when you're quartered, what they would do is they would chop you into 4 pieces, essentially. I think it's actually 5 because they'd chop your arms and legs off,
Right.
and your torso, and
Torso.
then they would cut your head off later and fucking do something with it. But they would usually, on the drawn part, is they would drag you by horse at like fast enough to where it dragged you, not where
Yeah,
you could walk with
yeah.
it. And they would do that for miles into town, and then they would fucking cut you up.
Just
Because you're
ripping through all your skin.
Or
and-
what about the wheel?
Oh yeah, there was the wheel where
There were 2 versions of it.
where it would just go around and around. And
That was one.
and you'd be drowned, and
Yeah,
in
there was
one
another
part.
version of the wheel where they would put you on a wheel and then they would just beat you with shit, and until your bones were completely broken, and then like roll you into a place and like fucking hang you or, murder you in some other way.
Just
Like they
how
did,
considerate
they
of
did
them.
some fun things back in fun times.
Plus, there was the ones in the desert where they would put you, they bury you up to your neck, and then
Oh, yeah.
they would just let you bake in the sun.
One of the
and
ones-
then put like poisonous animals like snakes and scorpions and stuff to
Venomous.
come after you. Venomous, thank you.
Yes, poisonous
Yeah, that
is
was
something
fun.
you
Yeah,
eat.
they did that with ants. I thought that's what.
Did
the
they?
honey
Oh,
thing-
they did it with ants too?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
The one
bury
I-
you in sand, and then ants just eat your fucking head.
The one I heard that like Native Americans would do, they would tie your eyelids open, and then face you towards the sun,
Oh, fuck.
and then you just go blind.
Oh, there was another one the Native Americans did where they would tie you down, but they like strip you basically naked to where out in the sun in the desert
Yeah,
to where you
fuck
just bake.
that.
You just
And you
bake
would.
and die of horrible sunburn.
Well,
Yeah.
you just die of exposure.
Yeah, yeah,
you-
eventually, but it's just awful.
Straight up exposure.
Well, what was the one where the Vietnam would do?
The punji sticks? I mean, that
Oh,
was one.
yeah.
No, the bamboo would grow through you.
Oh, I heard. Dude.
That's a real thing, too. They
Yes.
lay you on a fucking bed of bamboo and tie you down.
And
And
then
they
let
just
it grow into you.
yeah.
Somebody did a fucking
It
test of
legitimately worked, too.
it. Yeah, someone did a
Damn.
test of it, and it went through like a gelatin dummy.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah,
went
one of those
straight through it.
ballistic dummies that they use for
Yeah.
shooting and all that.
Yeah,
Which
it
are
grew through
supposed
it.
to be pretty close to.
In a matter of
Yeah.
days, it
Yeah.
grew through with it.
Yeah.
It was
God
So
damn,
bamboo
matter
would
of
just grow
days?
straight through a
days,
person.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it'd probably be the most excruciating thing
Oh
ever.
yeah, I bet, man. Holy
You're not
shit.
going to bleed out. I mean,
But remember, Jesus had it worse.
oh yeah.
Hey, crucifixion was
'cause-
no fucking
'cause
party
they-
either.
Yeah, but he died before it because he got stabbed with that stupid spear.
Oh yeah.
Ha, dummy.
Well, someone has.
Did
some
you just
mercy-
put on perfume?
some mercy? No,
No.
I got the incense going.
We ready to get this
Wow,
going?
it's fucking perfumey.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That could be the ghost. She's been,
The ghost?
yeah, she's been kind of randy lately. I have to say.
I hope the ghost fucks you like Jonah Hill in fucking
This
the
is
end.
happening. This is really happening.
You become a demon.
Something really unchill happened last night.
Welcome to the Skids. Yeah. It's Skids Podcast. I'm Shane Kopke. I'm here with Tim Gage. Hello. And
It's
Kevin
me.
McNichols.
Yo.
Hey, you're dropping the fucking ball, man.
What?
I didn't get gay.
I haven't done that in weeks.
Oh, why not? Oh, there it is.
Go.
There you go.
Much
You
better.
got it. Now you feel
What
at
is
home.
she doing? She's licking the litter thing. God damn it.
She's eating litter.
Oh,
No litter,
Oh,
Toki.
man. Tim's got a dog that apparently eats his cat's litter.
They all do.
Almond Roca.
Almond Roca.
she's in a mood tonight.
Well, that's good. She's been in a mood the last 3 weeks also. I mean, what the fuck are you talking
She's
about?
been really pacey, but we got a pretty good long walk today.
You know what it is? She knows what day Wednesday is.
Probably.
Maybe.
I hear that it throws the whole time change fucks with animals too, because they're used to doing things at certain times.
Well,
and
yeah.
obviously it all changes for them, and so yeah,
Yeah,
she's
of
sleeping
course.
in an hour more every day, and so am I. Essentially,
But we're not. Once,
hate
once the
waking
time
up at-
change happens, you're already used to it, and it's back to fucking normal. It's dumb. I
Well,
don't know why
woke
we
up
still
at
do
3
it.
o'clock every morning this last week. It fucking sucks.
I still don't know why we have that. It doesn't make any sense.
What was
The-
it? Some Indian proverb said it's only the white man believes that you can cut the top off a blanket, sew it to the bottom, and still make it bigger.
The
You
fuck
can,
is that
Tim.
supposed to mean?
Tim, you should just tell Proverbs.
Well, you can't. It does make sense. Like it's
But
really
you have-
fucking- that's our rationale on that. I was like, all right, we'll just
instead,
take it off the top, put it on the bottom. We'll make
instead
it
you have
fucking
to do it like
bigger
a samurai
or
movie
longer.
accent the whole time.
Oh,
Japanese
like
style.
Confucius say.
Well, that's Chinese. But no.
Go to
like-
sleep with
like-
itchy butt. Wake up with stinky finger.
Must sit in own pew.
It would be hilarious. Just you reading Proverbs for 15 minutes.
Terrible ones.
Yes. Ones you made up that don't make any sense. If you have a cheeseburger, you also have the top. You're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Nobody knows what that means. It's not
Yeah,
a thing.
It has to do with someone eating buns or something.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking? You also have the bottom part of the bun. What are you fucking saying?
Yeah. Well, it is Native American. They're
Waking
pretty-
up with brown mouth means you wake up with chocolate. See, that makes no
That's
sense.
probably.
There you go.
I think Kevin should take that role.
Maybe
on,
I
not
should do
me,
it.
because he doesn't. They're far more obscure than I could ever come up with. It's like what the.
It's
fuck?
probably true. Kevin needs to write them. You need to say them.
Fucking Jesus.
Kevin, you 100% have to write like
What the fuck was that? Dude?
15 to 20 proverbs, like really, or whatever they're called. Are they called proverbs?
We'll call them Kevinisms or something like that. 'Cause-
Yeah,
Proverbs. Yeah, Proverbs.
I don't know that that's the name though, but anyway.
Fortune cookie.
No, there's something to it. It
Psalms,
might be.
Proverbs.
But anyway, you have to come up with like 15 to 20 of these things and then give them to Tim. Tim can't look at them until he's going to read them.
Oh boy, I would probably need to be able to hold a straight face the whole fucking time. It'd be a mess.
It would be hilarious.
Could be. We were supposed to do something similar to that. Weren't we supposed to do the whole criminal face
Yeah,
thing?
I wanna
guess
do
their
a-
crime.
You gotta set that shit up.
Yeah, I gotta
That'd
find
be really cool to do.
because I found a database that has like mugshots and shit, but I want to find a better one than that to where it's just easier to pick from.
Right.
I can be like, that face. Hey, it's already in the public. We can use it.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. We got to make sure
it's a public
we're
record.
we're not breaking any rules or nothing like that, or offending anybody.
Fine, we'll get it out of a newspaper. Who cares?
Since when have we ever worried about offending anybody?
Well,
It's true.
it's a
Tim-
good point.
Tim, what?
Well, like I said, we're big and popular. That's going to get
Tim-
us all
Tim-
fired.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
like-
mean? Someone's going to
Getting-
find this 10 years from
Get
now. and be like,
canceled from your job
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah.
it's like, we'll be rich and famous. And I was like, well, yeah, they said that one thing 10 years ago on that podcast they first started.
Everybody has that though now.
Well, that's what I mean. Everyone's losing their fucking jobs.
You know what? Okay. You know what's actually great? So, fuck, what is the name of that guy? He's the guy that got
Dave Chappelle.
No, he got Shane Gillis. He was the one that put out the article that essentially got Gillis fucking fired from Saturday Night
Oh, what a
Live.
stupid
Wait, I didn't know
bitch.
Shane Gillis worked for Saturday Night
Yeah, he
Live.
did.
He had Saturday Night Live for a day,
For-
and then
yeah,
the
it
next
was
day he
really
was
short
fired.
time.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been funny as fuck to have him on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have actually made the show funny.
He's probably
Yeah.
making way more money now,
I wouldn't be surprised.
and probably happier than he would
his
have been.
sense of humor is amazing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
fucking
he's
hilarious.
witty as fuck.
I can't remember.
Well, why do you? I mean, so they as a writer or is actually like a?
Yeah, this guy's like a writer, and he writes on
I know, but
comedy.
Shane
No,
Gillis
Shane
was he
Gillis-
supposed to
he
be like?
would've
No,
been a
he was
cast
gonna be a
member.
cast
Yeah.
member.
Oh,
but they
no.
all write
he,
too.
He even
Yeah.
talked about going in there and just being like, "I'm never getting this, so who cares? Just fucking go out there and wing it." Essentially,
Really?
Like, I mean, he did stuff he knew, but he was just like, "I don't give a shit because I'm not gonna get this at all. It's not gonna happen."
That's a good way to approach
And
things.
well, because he also didn't think he was gonna get it. On top of it, somebody told him that they never laugh at anything you do out there, so don't expect that. And I guess he got laughs.
Oh.
And by the end he was like, "Oh shit, this is kind of cool," and fucking, then I
I
think.
could just see him doing his Trump shit on fucking
Oh, dude,
Saturday
he
Night
would have
Live.
been perfect.
He's
no,
gay. That guy's
now,
gay.
That's the thing. He wouldn't have been allowed to say a lot of the things that he
Yeah,
said.
that's the only drawback. Is the
Yeah.
stuff
'Cause
that
his-
makes him funny is the offensive.
Well, and that's
His-
one of
well,
the
his
reasons why
sketch
SNL's
show is
gone so
great.
downhill is because they've become so PC and like woke and just pathetic.
Well, yeah, because it's all left wing.
Yeah.
Nonsense. I mean, look at Lorne Michaels. That guy.
I know. Well, I heard that he's going to quit it out after he's going to end it at the 50-year mark,
Oh, he's gonna just stop
is?
it.
which is next year, I think. Yeah, the
He's gonna
Lorne
stop.
Michaels.
He's gonna stop producing it.
He's
or?
just going to be done with SNL. I don't know if
Someone
he's gonna,
else is
it's
gonna pick it up,
I'm
or-
not sure if he's just leaving or if they're going to shut it down.
Who's leaving?
Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels?
When
The
they get to the
fucking creator of
50-year
it.
mark, yeah.
When's the 50-year mark? 'Cause
Next
it started-
year.
He just got done fucking saying that,
Next
Shane.
year.
Jesus Christ, pay attention.
I'm trying to find the article
About Shane Gillis being on
no,
SNL.
about the actual guy, because that guy finally got fucking just like everybody like looked into his shit and it was all just bullshit. Like 90%, it's just him being super biased to one side, right?
Of course.
He
That's how a
finally
lot of
got
them are.
himself kind of canceled for being just a prick. Just constantly fucking like nobody goes to him anymore.
Well, that's
They
like
even
90%
posted
of the media
Well,
now.
they even posted in something. Forget who the fuck they were talking about, but they were talking about like Skankfest or something like that, and then talking about how he was this disgraced fucking writer now, and it was out of a big publication. Like that was what was crazy about it. So I was like, it's good to see that when somebody that's just a prick that fights for this fucking cancel culture nonsense gets fucking
Gets their own.
gets their own
I'm
medicine.
starting to see a bit of
good.
more kickback about
But
that.
the thing
There
is, I
has
don't,
been.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't think, and the difference is though, he didn't get canceled. He just lost all, like nobody believed him anymore because he was just
Right.
full of shit.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
virtue signaling.
That's-
That's
that's how it used to work.
from
though.
Idaho.
But yeah,
Like
you
apparently
know-
that's where he lived.
But hey, that's how it used to work though. Is like you make a fucking fool out of yourself, people are gonna stop coming to you to listen to you.
Well,
you know?
and sometimes it works out because there are people that went out there. And, I mean, look, Howard Stern for one. If you look at what he did when he started, he did a lot of things, self-deprecating shit throughout the years, made a fool of himself. But people wanted to listen for two reasons. One, they hated him, and they did, were like, "What the fuck's he gonna say?"
hate watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they had the true fans, and that's why that guy became so big. I still can't believe he never listened to him.
Infamous.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
become
Yeah,
kinda
that's how it
infamous.
works.
Now he's become a shadow of his former
I watched
self.
a thing on that, and they pinpointed to 2013. Apparently, they had a big meeting at Sirius for the Howard Stern radio
Oh,
program.
he's got to
right?
make his bucks. That's what it was.
Well, what he did is he came in, and they showed leaked footage of this shit. And apparently he was telling everybody, like, look, we need to change things up because we need to start getting A-list celebrities. We need to stop with this nonsense we've been doing for all these years. And it's like,
the shit that's made.
Oh, you mean your bread and butter?
The thing that got you $100 million a year.
Like going to Rogan and saying we need more A-lists, or
I'm sure that Spotify's probably said something.
I really hope Rogan just keeps throwing them the finger.
Yeah, just keeps saying,
cancel me. I don't.
Rogan says
care.
they're okay. I've seen interviews about this, and Rogan says they're 100% supportive of it.
Well, yeah,
they seem to be because
look at his following. Of course, they're going to be supportive.
Well,
of him.
dude. So he
said that they don't give him any shit at all.
Why would they? They'd be stupid to do that. They'd be really dumb.
Rogan's getting the numbers that Stern was getting in the 90s and 2000s before he went to satellite, right? 20 million like a week or some shit like that. Or what is Rogan getting? Actually, he's
I don't know.
Crazier
I think it's
than
probably
that. I think
more
he's getting
than
like.
I'm sure
actually, I think he's getting more
because
because I think Howard was getting like 20 to 40 million listeners a week, some shit like that. And Rogan's getting like 50 million a week right now. And which in a time where like if you get 5 million views, you're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Because that's insanely good now.
That's bigger than a lot of the regular TV networks and shit.
But think about it, like when we were kids, 5 million was a failure fucking show.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right.
Failure. Like people.
Well, it was a different time though.
Like when we were kids, I mean, like when you were born. I think
I was born in AU.
Carson was probably
84.
still on, Johnny Carson was probably still on and he was getting like 35 million a night.
Yeah.
A night. That's when
I
people
was
used to watch
about
shit
that.
like
How
that.
the hell do they track that?
It's
I don't know how the Nielson shit works. It somehow
It has to
can
do with-
detect the signal that's going into each house.
something like that.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, they can tell.
I watched movies like Cloak and Dagger where they can easily track shit.
They can track, and
I was gonna say,
nowadays,
there's no way of fucking
well,
knowing
and
that
nowadays
shit.
it's
No,
even
they
easier.
They can figure out how it is based on the strength of the signal that's going out. That's how they measure. It's kind of like when you weigh money. Like if you just had a pile of money, you're like, yeah, I think it's about this much.
Yeah, that's
how
what I'm
it's
saying.
done.
There's no way there's
they
precise.
test it based on like what the signal is going in and out.
So why didn't
I think
just
that's how
say
it
it
works.
that way? It's like, oh,
I don't
we're
know.
getting-
I'm making this up,
That's
Tim. I
what I'm
have
saying.
no fucking clue how they do
what I
it.
mean. It's like,
I started with that,
We
and
got
then you wanted me
10
to continue.
gigahertz tonight. We fucking did great,
But
folks.
that's my guess, though, because I think you could figure it out based on what the signal strength
Because
is.
I don't see them being able to detect every television set that's tuned.
No,
to that.
you're not. You're going to
At
be
that
able.
time.
You're going to be able to tell what it's tuned into because those each have their own frequency.
Each
Remember-
television set has its own.
No,
frequency.
each channel. And what you do, like I said, see how they fucking figure it out. Okay, there we go.
He googled it.
He did.
We didn't have to ask him. He
So-
just fucking did it. Holy shit, Kevin! Oh my god!
Oh, way to go, Jaime.
Holy
So,
fucking- it took how many episodes for him to figure that fucking
Dude,
shit out?
episode 104, and Kevin's finally doing the fucking Googling. It's amazing.
Wow.
So hey,
We're not-
so Nielsen.
so I can stop making shit up.
So
I'm fucking blown away over here.
So Nielsen works by providing devices called odometers to its panel households. These devices collect viewership data from the households' televisions and send it back to Nielsen. Nielsen then uses the panel viewership data to estimate overall ratings across the U.S.
So
There
it's a
you go.
device that's already installed in
And
every
they
television set?
estimate those based on
what it's sending
Yeah.
back.
Satellite or wired.
It does. Well, I don't know how satellite works. Well, probably satellite too.
Huh.
I would assume
Well,
that
and the
that's
thing
if
is,
it's in the
satellite,
television, it's just sending it back.
they'd be able to get that information from the satellite companies because
Dude,
those
this is the one-
companies would
okay.
have some way of
It's
detecting.
wild.
So this is the one thing that I think irritates me about satellite radio on my phone. I think it calls the fucking thing.
Maybe it does.
I think it uses the already existing fucking cellular, like satellites and towers and shit. I think that's how you get it. Because every time it pauses,
You don't have a
because it
sat phone. There's no fucking way you have a satellite
No.
receiver in your fucking phone,
well,
dude.
you have a GPS.
Yeah, but I just don't. I didn't know that that's how it worked on the fucking phone. Like it calls them. Like I'm just sitting in on a fucking phone call. Like you know how people used to call because they didn't have a radio to a radio station. Be like, no, don't hang up on me. Just keep me on hold. I'll listen to the show. You would hear that from time to time on people saying that when they called in.
Oh, fucking shit.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So it's basically what you're doing. It's 2023. Why the fuck are we not?
Why are you doing satellite radio in your fucking phone?
I got it free when I got that car.
Oh, that's neat.
So it's trial till like the end of December or January.
What is it,
or
like
something.
Sirius or something?
Yeah.
Like that? Okay.
So like I said, I've been listening to a little bit of Howard
So
Stern and
one
shit
of the
lately,
ways
and Jim and
Sirius
Sam
does
and all
it
that.
is they extrapolate from
Wow, you
on-demand
went to
data.
another topic within a topic? You're fucking amazing tonight. What happened?
Slow down over there, Kevin. I can't keep up.
Dude, you really are dressed like you're in Mission Impossible.
Wild.
I'm all of a sudden an expert on
This is
computers.
fucking wild.
I may as well look something up. I can't ever get into the conversation.
Maybe that's how we have to keep him on his toes.
Holy
Good
shit.
for you,
But
bud.
yeah, so they extrapolate from on-demand data, and they figure out what percentage of people actually go to on-demand services, and then they have a simple formula for determining that.
And I'm sure that, the thing is...
Something tells me that formula isn't as simple as they're making
No,
it.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I
2
mean,
plus 2 is 4.
Not anymore, Tim.
Add a scoop of flour, a scoop of sugar. There's the formula.
Let me introduce you to today's math, where
Yeah.
2 plus 2 can equal 5
Yeah.
or 3. Who gives a shit?
2 plus 2.
Math
just
is for
fuck
fucking
you.
nerds.
Yeah, that's what
Stop
it's-
learning math.
Well, and then
That's what
and
schools
then-
are doing now.
Kevin's already Googled it. Look at it.
He's like, is math real?
According to Wikipedia.
Kinda.
And then streaming services, that's easy for them to determine because they can tell who's
Right.
Yeah,
got
because it's accessing it at that
Well,
point.
yeah,
Right,
everything has its own
exactly.
IP
Yeah.
address, too.
But the
Like,
weird
oh
thing
my
is,
God.
didn't on-demand shit come out early 2000s? I swear it did.
Yeah, it did, but it was
We had
through the
very
cable.
rudimentary
Yeah.
fucking
I don't
early
think it was
shit. Yeah, it
on-demand.
was that.
It was the
it was.
hopper
It
and
was
the
an
fucking
early form
No,
of
it
on-demand.
100% was
Yeah.
an
TiVo.
on-demand. It was 100%
Well,
an
no,
on-demand
TiVo
thing.
was a thing. Yeah,
That's how I
TiVo
used to find
is
music.
Considered that.
I used to go into the music thing.
2000s for
The
cable.
early
on-demand?
2000s, yeah.
Well, no,
That's how I found bands,
It
dude.
depended on what company you with
Went through
and what
Comcast
package that you
and
had
that-
and all that stuff. And also, it depended on the set top box that you had. Because
wait,
certain
Maybe that was
certain-
back when we were stealing cable.
I don't know. But
That might have been then.
certain cable companies did have set top boxes that were set up for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was very early
Yes.
versions of it. Yeah.
Literally, what they had on it, the one that I remember, is they literally had just the fucking music and then like 3 shows.
Video on demand services first appeared in the early 90s.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
I
then
didn't even know. I didn't know it went
most
that far
analysts
back.
put it to 2007 when the first.
See, but I remember watching fucking music videos. On
video on demand was in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember watching all these fucking, like, skate videos and or punk videos and shit like that. And then, like, some metal videos and stuff. And I was like, this is pretty cool. I can
I
watch the
wouldn't be
songs I
surprised
want.
if the original origination was porn. Yeah, 1995.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
Porn-
on demand.
dude.
According to Wikipedia, on demand started in 1995 with
So I
media.
know that I must have watched it earlier than that, too, because I remember watching, like, going to, like, the MTV stuff and finding all the fucking music videos.
Yeah, that's what it was for. 28 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
No, that doesn't
Obviously,
sound
it was really rudimentary.
Very.
Back then,
That's why I said
yeah.
they had like 2 sections. It was like music
One-
videos,
Yeah.
and then I think that they could really only do like on-demand, like streaming type things in like 2 to 5 minute
Yeah.
segments.
Well, and then later you had companies like Comcast and stuff where they had their own set top boxes that were set up to do on demand
Just
services
by
and
itself,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then like TiVo and all that shit. came
TiVo,
out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, TiVo, Hopper, all that.
Uh-huh.
Dish Network, I think, was one of them too. You could
They have
pause
that?
and
Yeah,
pause
Dish
and,
Network, they did have something like
Yeah,
that.
you could pause and
Dude, I remember when
rewind and fast forward.
like I don't know. I assume all of our listeners are almost dead too.
Possible.
I mean, really,
Working on it.
yeah. With what is that? Water?
Energy drinks.
Oh, energy drinks.
I've
Yeah, that'll
kicked
kill
those
you.
up a bunch, man.
Yeah.
I used to maybe 1 or 2 a week, and now I'm like 2 a day. Sometimes 3.
Get one of these.
Not good for you.
Was
Got
I,
no nothing in them.
I don't like the taste of
They
anything.
taste actually good.
But that tastes.
Try
fucking- I'm not tasting your fucking drink, dude.
Dude, I only came once in it.
Yeah, but who came in your mouth before it is the question. I don't care how many times you did.
That's actually where it came from.
it's fucking.
I
it's all
thought
the-
I
it's all
thought that's
the-
where you came from, Tim.
It's
all the dicks you
borrowed
sucked prior
gravy.
to, man.
Yes.
Borrowed baby gravy.
I remember when I made a prank phone call to that Chris dude we know. And
Oh yeah, the one I had a dream about where I pushed him off fucking a roof the other day.
I like how you're still mad at him. You're mad at him for a dream you had.
I'm not
Like-
mad at him.
like
I
you're-
thought it was funny.
Like you're in a relationship with. Yeah, I remember how you looked at my
where's
sister in the dream.
Where did you get the mad part?
You just sounded mad earlier.
What?
It's not now.
I was telling
I
you
know
the
now.
story.
I look
The
like
whole
the
time
crazy
he was
person.
laughing, Shane. The whole time he was
No, he
fucking
wasn't
laughing. I was
laughing.
listening mad.
Oh,
laughing.
that's good that you guys are now gaslighting
Is
me.
recording, by the way?
Yeah, it's recording.
Numbers are moving,
I was
dude.
gonna say you pointed
They're
at
moving.
it like, oh, shit. Let's not do that again.
I was just gonna hit the record button.
Screeching halt.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing that. You really know how to bring it
Got you
down.
both fucking startled. Like, what? Did we? Oh, shit.
No, I
Oh,
knew
yeah.
it was.
I
you
finally
pushed-
beat the story of Mortal Kombat 1.
Finally, Kevin beat Mortal Kombat 1,
Yes,
and
I
Tim's
did.
never gonna play it, so we can.
It was
talk
Yeah,
about
fucking
it.
go
awesome.
ahead. It's
It's
not
a
my
great
genre.
fucking
It
game.
was
I wanna play
fucking
it.
awesome. I love how they brought in all these, different timelines, and it's all these different characters.
Did you
that
watch
had won
to the
timelines.
very, very, very
Yes.
end and see the extra cutscene?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What about
The
the,
one where-
extra
Where
cutscene?
Havoc
With
comes
Havoc,
back in?
Titan Havoc.
Titan Havoc, and then he murders Jax?
Yes. They step
Fucking
on his head.
Great. No, he doesn't step on his head. He
Someone stomped on his
No,
head.
he drops that hammer that
Oh
he's
no,
carrying.
it was the hammer. You're right.
Yeah, he
you're right,
drops
you're right.
the
Yeah,
hammer,
yeah.
and it's a hammer with a spike in it.
Yeah.
And just fucking splat.
So we know who the next villain's gonna be.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Dude,
I
they
don't
could
know.
change that shit in a
Well,
second.
with the fact that
Gonna
they've
be
got all these
Havoc?
different timelines,
It might be Havoc.
It might be Titan Havoc. There's a difference. Basically, a Titan is one of the guys who
Now I'm going to fall asleep.
who took control of the time sand, the sands of time or whatever.
The time sand.
The time sand.
He got the time sand. Yes, the sands of time.
The sands of time, and so basically they had their own Armageddon again, but this time with Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was pretty badass.
And the thing is, I like the cameo system in it too.
I did too.
I
thought
thought
it
I
worked
was
well.
gonna hate it.
Yeah, me too.
I absolutely thought, because I was like, dude, I don't want it to be like those superhero games and all that fucking
no,
shit.
yeah, no, it worked well. It worked
They
really well.
brought it in pretty goddamn well. I mean, they've patched some things up, but no, it's still a fun game. Although I
Yeah, it's a blast.
started because PlayStation had what was it, Ghost Recon Breakpoint on sale for like $20. So I was like, yeah, fuck it.
It was a pretty good series, I guess.
Well, it's for the gold or platinum edition, so it comes with like everything.
Oh, wow.
And for like $20, I was like, okay, I'll spend $20
The
and
new Modern
basically.
Warfare is like 90.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, now Grand Theft Auto has got a not a release date, but a release date for the trailer that they're gonna have, and that's next month sometime. Although they didn't specify what date, they were like, we have a release date, but it's in December.
It's going to be so fucking good.
I know,
I can't wait.
dude. They're spending like $2 billion
I should
to make
hope
the game.
So. I should hope so.
The downside,
$2 billion
now,
to make
one of the
this.
downsides.
It's insane.
One of the downsides with this new one is that they're not going to have the original creators involved in making it. Those guys left.
For what?
Matt Hauser or something, and
Why? Why did they leave? So,
that 5 was the last one they did, and I think they just left. They
sit
left
on a
the
pile of
company.
money and call it good, huh?
I mean,
I
that
don't know,
might be
maybe.
a good idea if you're like, I'm on a pile of money.
But
I
that
don't
means
need
you've
any more.
got brand new
all my
people.
furniture is made of money.
Now you've got people that, we don't know if they're going to be able to.
Hopefully,
make the
they're
game as
people
good as
that
the last
loved
ones.
the game.
Hopefully.
Because if
No,
they,
that's going to be some woke nonsense.
That's
the
what I
whole
heard they're
game.
doing with it. I've heard that there's.
You're
a-
going to be
yeah.
gay. You're going to be gay.
Dude,
They're gay.
Well, the main
It'll
story
be
is going to be some kind of a
completely-
Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing.
well, it'll be completely the opposite of what 5 was. 5 makes fun of all the woke shit.
it sure does.
All of it. And so does fucking Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption makes fun of all of it. And this is before the woke shit became like, super
Yeah.
mainstream. And they were making fun of all of that shit. Yeah, no, great fucking games. I want them to make another Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, well, I like what they did with the first one when they did the Red Dead Undead.
Yeah.
That was a really cool extra thing they did.
They have it now on like the new gen consoles.
Yeah,
but
it
the
was
problem,
fun. Undead Redemption was really
But the
really
problem
fun.
is they didn't do anything to it.
my
But
guess,
yeah, to follow his son would be really cool.
my guess is
Marston's son.
after Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and has been out a while, they'll probably go into making another Red Dead. Is my
Well,
guess.
yeah, it would be cool too if he it's supposed to be like 1908 when he's in his like early 20s,
First Model T.
right? No,
He'll be driving a fucking car.
but if they brought him into like the into his 30s, and he's in like the 1920s, like mid 20s gangster shit, but he's dressed as a cowboy, it would be kind
Right?
of
Yeah,
funny.
right on the verge of it.
It's pretty close.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
not a bad idea.
Which would be kind of cool to get in with that mob shit, because they had a little bit of the mob shit in Red Dead Redemption when you get to that main town.
Oh, Blackwater?
No, the biggest town in the place that you can normally go places.
Oh, Lemoyne.
Yeah, but I can't remember what's the biggest town. It's fucking huge.
Ansburg.
Saint something.
Yeah, Saint. Saint Denis.
Saint Denis.
Yeah.
There we go. In Saint Denis, remember you meet the Italian mobster.
That's right.
So you've got the Italian. It would be crazy if you went with like the whole mob thing, and like he had to like steal people's clothes to like fit in with the mob.
That'd be kind of neat.
Oh yeah, sorry,
fun.
I had the name wrong. It was Dan and Sam Hauser. Those are the guys that took over for the original creators, David Jones and Mike Daly, and those are the guys that have been running Grand Theft Auto for years.
And they didn't back out. They just called
gone.
it, huh?
They're not going to be involved in GTA 6.
Well, I didn't realize Jim Norton was in, what was it, 4? I think.
Oh, they always get a lot of celebrities.
He was
to do voices
he was
and
in
stuff.
2 separate ones. They they did a radio
Yeah.
show on the car.
Mhm.
So when you're driving around, you could change to their radio show.
Well, like in 4, they had, or San Andreas, they had, what was it,
Marconi.
Sam Jackson as the fucking cop.
Did they really?
Yeah, they had Marconi. One of our
I
Craig
couldn't
the dog. Craig the
Oh,
dog.
that's
faced
right,
boy
yes.
with
Craig the
pork
dog
chop.
I
faced
remember
boy,
because
pork
I remember
chop.
I used to
Yeah.
listen to that all.
I used
that
to
one all
listen to
the
that all
time.
the time too.
Yeah,
And-
they were on Grand Theft Auto.
I
That's
remember
fucking
when,
awesome.
I
Those
remember
guys
when
were
they
great.
got so much shit for a while. Like, I didn't care either way because I didn't really listen to their show. Afternoon stuff sucked.
Yeah.
It always sucked on any
101
radio station.
KUFO.
Right? All the afternoons sucked. But I think it was Craig that he moved to California and was doing the show from there while Porkchop was in the studio in Portland.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for like the last 2 years of their show.
Pork Chop became like a producer or something, didn't he?
I remember
I don't
going
know.
to a couple
But I just
concerts that he opened for just to.
When I remember they weren't
he'd
getting
announce the
along and shit
singers.
too. So
And everyone booed when he was on stage. Whenever Dogface got on the stage,
nobody liked him.
Nobody fucking liked him.
But
And he was this little dude too. He
I-
was like a little scrappy guy.
I liked all the morning shows were pretty good. Like
Mark and Brian, #1, man.
See, I never
Fucking
loved
listened. That show.
see, I think I don't know. It's not that was not my style.
But
of
I didn't
humor.
follow it until maybe I only followed it for like 2 years before they stopped.
See, I followed.
I wasn't one of those big. I mean, I did
Well, I
because
gotta-
Adam Carolla stopped. Because
Yeah.
Adam Carolla went to his podcast, and I didn't want to move over to that, so I started doing Mark and Brian.
See, I started with Loveline. That was my first like real radio show that I listened to.
Yeah.
As consistently as possible.
that was a pretty good one. to
Right.
listen to.
And, well, for one, I thought Adam Carolla was hilarious. Sometimes they had interesting guests, like a lot of punk bands I listened to. So I was like, yeah, that's fucking cool.
The callers too, like
The callers were crazy.
the girl and the boy, the brother and sister. Did you hear that one? That was fucking wild.
Or the one, I remember the one that was the craziest to me at the time was the dude that kept letting his dog fuck him. There was a dude that would just present in front of the dog, and the dog would just fuck him.
Oh my fucking!
And he called
God.
in like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Why would anyone do that?"
There's no way.
Yeah, that's
you got to. That
But-
begs the question if it's real or not.
Well, that's the thing. They used to also always have. There was a running gag on there that they would talk about putting a mason jar up their asses, right? But like it would start out as like calling in, and it sounded like a real call. And then by the end of it, my asshole was as big as a mason jar. That was the punchline to the joke every time. And so they would constantly call in and do that.
Oh, so that there had to have been prank callers.
Of course there were prank callers. There's always prank callers on every radio
I think
show.
I remember hearing one of the girls said her vagina smoked after every time they had sex.
I mean,
And you could hear
either
whatever.
that or those are spores.
Dr. Drew was like, I can understand maybe steam. He's like, no, it's smoke. It smells like smoke. And the boyfriend's, every time after sex, her
What the
vagina
fuck?
smokes. It's like, I don't know how something like that can physically happen. Well, it happens. We just want to know what's going on. I was like, I don't have an answer for you because
that's fucking crazy.
that doesn't
exist.
doesn't make any fucking sense.
You're spontaneously combusting after sex. What
You
the
should
fuck are
see
you
a,
talking about?
You should see a gynecologist.
Yeah,
Right.
you should see a firefighter. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's so wild about that
fucking
too. Like
crazy.
people get into some personal shit.
Yeah, no, that's why it was such a great show to me.
That's what Loveline was all
listening.
about.
Because when I really started listening to it was when I would have like hockey practice at like 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. Right,
wow.
go practice and then
Fuck
fucking
that.
because their show went from like 10 to midnight.
Yeah.
And then so by the time I was getting ready to go home, I could listen to the last like hour of it because I was all the way down in Clackamas, all the way back to Vancouver, and driving back and forth
Shitty.
to all that. Yeah, it sucks, but when you have a good show on, you're like, this is great.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was like really the only show on at that time that
Right.
had anything fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think I got into like Howard Stern was the next one I got into. It was such a good show. at
Back
one
then
point.
it was. It really
God, it
was.
was so good.
Baba Booey.
I mean, there's lots of little references that like the general public knows about it, but if you listen to the show, it was just so fucking good, and the arguments on the show would be great. Or like a day. This is another thing that I would loved about the show. Day where there's no guest, they would just fucking like Howard would just berate somebody.
Robin, I hear he berated Robin.
No, he was never. I don't remember him ever being terrible to Robin.
Think so.
You know, because you listened to the show.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Before he went to satellite.
Yeah, that's the thing. I stopped listening completely once he went to satellite because
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to spend any money to listen
That's
to the
exactly
show that
the
I
way
got for free.
I was.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing about Patreon now. Is like I got that podcast I listen to, and every fucking other one is a snippet of their Patreon. I'm like, I'm not going to your fucking Patreon.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
the thing.
doing it.
But the thing is, though, they toss
a
that
good
out.
show, but-
and it's a good way to get some cash to help your show.
He didn't fucking need it. That's what pisses me off.
Who is it?
It's that Otherworld show.
Oh, I've
because he's
listened to
got
that,
so
yeah.
many ads in it now. He's got like I think 3 or 4 different ads.
Do you know how many listeners he's got?
It's
No
the
idea.
number 2 podcast right now.
Oh, then he's
Okay,
probably
so
got
then
quite a bit.
my guess would be, I don't know, probably a couple million.
Yeah,
So
but he's still doing a Patreon.
Well, you're looking at probably per ad on a couple of million. He's probably making like I don't know $5,000-$6,000 per ad. It's my guess.
It all depends. It
That's
all
my
depends.
guess.
Yeah.
Well, with that many people, if they have that many people listening, and they can prove that there's that many people listening to the whole show, yeah, he's making
He's
quite
probably
a bit
making pretty
per-
good money. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I know.
Well, he's getting his production value is much better.
Well, I know.
I'll say that his latest ones are getting
Yeah.
really fucking good.
Who was it? Tim Dillon was making like $300,000 or $400,000 a month on Patreon, just on Patreon.
Jesus. God damn.
Yeah, that's why he's got a house in every fucking city in this country now.
Fucking
Yeah, I mean, it's insane that like and Tim Dillon's very entertaining. So
Yeah,
you know,
he is. He's
I
really
get
funny.
I get it. He's getting paid for his talent. He's definitely a funny dude.
Sure.
And I love the fact that like with his conspiracy theories, they're so hilarious. It's not because I think the ideas that he tosses out are crazy or hilarious. It's the way he gets into the conspiracy theory, and like he does it well. It's fucking funny. You got to listen to some of that shit. It's pretty wild.
Otherworld. I'm sorry.
Otherworld.
Otherworld. That's
not
right.
Otherworld.
See, I don't-
Otherworld podcast.
Is that actually? I mean, is that the number one on podcasts?
I'm pulling it up right now.
It's not number 1, but I think it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, they usually have like the top I don't know 10 podcasts and shit.
Oh, it's probably gonna play an excerpt from it. I don't need that.
Why does this not have that? Meh, whatever.
But it's
Everybody's-
a good show.
Well,
I like how he has his guests and all that. I like his interviews. Some of the stories, like you gotta be like this one gal that I just recently listened to. I couldn't fucking stand the way she talked because she was this valley girl talking
Oh.
about crystals and all that. She's like, come on.
You gotta love the crystal people.
Oh my fucking god! And that's I think there's in a couple episodes they're referred to as that. Oh,
Yeah, they're the crystal
the
people.
crystal people.
Yeah, they're
Like,
crazy.
Those
Yeah,
people
they're-
are always nuts.
oh my fucking god!
Look,
But there's other ones.
but
where you
are
hear
they as
accounts-
delusional as Jake?
The-
That's my question.
It's wild.
Worse.
I don't know. I really
Well,
don't.
no, not
I think-
smoke crystal.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Jake's
yeah.
delusion is. It's
that.
almost like that.
Not that type of crystal.
I mean, these people think that, it's all about aligning their chakras and fucking
Yeah, no, that's
getting their
fucking
chi
crazy.
all
Look,
fucking rewired.
but I'm all for anything that makes somebody a better person, as long as they're not pushing it on people. I don't care.
yeah.
I really don't
and
give a shit.
That's the thing. But when they start making stories about like I don't know. I've never been there. I can't say yes or no if that's actually happened to these.
You
people.
could probably say no.
But this person's like that didn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
That's called a psychotic episode.
Yeah.
You needed to get medication.
Well, look, there is something called the placebo effect. If you believe it hard enough,
Yeah.
then
Well, that's-
to
they've-
you it is
Well, that's
real.
what they address a
They've-
lot in
they've
this one
proven
too. is
that
like,
shit
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
placebo
It's a real
studies
thing.
and shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Absolutely.
crazy.
Like
It
there
is
was
a
a
real
gal
thing.
that kept getting recordings, and she would constantly. She set up more and more recorders in her house, and sure as shit, she's picking stuff up. And it finally took someone and said, "Well, maybe because you're putting a shit ton of recorders all throughout your house, you're manifesting this shit, and you don't know you're doing it."
Yeah.
No, that's not what's really
Possibly.
happening. Yeah, that's what we see this all the time. You know,
Well,
it's a type of mania.
the paranormal shit that's like that people post and shit. It's so hilarious. Some of them, Like there was one where this lady looks like she's getting dragged, and then you realize like she's on a boat.
Yeah, the boat listed to the left.
Boat,
or whatever.
the boat moved,
Yeah.
and then she fell over and fucking got. Yeah, of course, the camera's always going to be stationary. It
Right.
doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't see the movement of the boat.
Exactly. So watching it just from the
bigger
camera,
picture
you would
stuff
never know.
helps out a lot.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing.
But
When they show the clips, they're kind of impressive at the moment. It's like finding out a magic trick, like how the magic
Sure,
trick works,
sure,
and you're
sure.
like, it's not impressive anymore
No,
at
no.
all. I'm
really fucking stupid.
This is the dumbest thing I've
But that's
ever
just
seen.
it to
you
these-
hit it in your right hand
Yeah.
and then moved it to your left while I was
But,
distracted.
but
Good
that's
job.
also the thing, though, is the fact is that today people just make assumptions rather than trying to get evidence about, what is actually going on.
Well,
They just see something on a camera and go, "Oh my God! Look what happened!"
100% like with that hockey incident that we talked about last week.
Sure.
Where people just immediately look at it. Look, it looks bad.
Yeah, it
But
does.
if you know how like the game works and all that shit, you could
I
argue
still
either
say
It makes
that
a little
was
more
intentional.
sense.
I still say that was intentional.
It's,
He didn't intend to cut the guy's
No.
fucking throat, but he certainly.
I definitely don't think he was like, I'm going to murder.
He wanted a boot to that
he
dude's
definitely
fucking chest
raised
or
that
face.
leg.
See,
Yeah.
I don't think that he was trying to do that. I think that if he was trying to do something,
We've already
dirty,
covered this. I'm just saying.
It's fine. We could go back into
Yeah,
it.
let's revisit it and hear your opinion again.
You're an idiot. That's my opinion.
Well, that's a great opinion. You're wrong.
You're. There you go. Yeah.
That's
Trumped you. That's the Trump card on this show.
Speaking of Trump and things that are false, they get the
Uh-oh.
not the
Here's
whole picture.
here's a rant.
Well, this was one a long time ago, but people were like, oh, like that time he tried drowning or overfeeding koi fish with the president of China
What
or
the-
whatever like that.
Oh
They
no,
handed
no!
him that amount of food.
I know what you're talking about.
You know,
yeah.
they're
So
trying
fucking
to
crazy.
they're trying to make him look like oh he was being so disrespectful. And he's like, no, he just following suit what the other guy did.
Yeah, he just did exactly the
But
same.
they cut that part
like-
out to make him look like a fucking prick.
It's like and it's also such a mundane. Who gives a shit?
Well,
you know what I
that's-
mean?
No, what's
But they attacked everything.
but that's the thing. That's
what they do today.
about Trump.
who is they?
People.
The people that hate Trump isn't because of his politics.
They just hate him.
They just hate him because of his personality.
Yeah, no,
of who
he's
he
got a
is.
terrible personality.
He is a shit person.
But at the same time, had he grown up and just went into comedy, might have been the best comedian ever. Ever.
That's a good
It's
point.
He's
fucking
definitely
crazy.
a good comedian.
He might have ended up being the best roast comic in the history of roast comics.
He's good at it.
Like, he could have been great.
He's good at it.
He's got some great writers.
That's I don't even
But
think
the-
he's got writers.
the thing
doesn't.
This is his.
He's off script. That's just
Yeah,
it.
that's
they,
the
they,
thing.
they write him
Writers.
some
Like,
great
dude,
stuff. It's like, fuck that. I'm
Dude,
not saying that.
Those fucking
I think during
the,
his-
the political rallies he does,
Spit it out.
he just does it straight, like hours of it with no
here's,
script.
Here's the other thing. Like,
just
he-
off the cuff.
I think during his presidency, he only read one thing from the prompter, like completely through.
Yeah.
One thing, and it had to be like a State of the Union or some
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
Everything else was like, yeah, fuck him, let's get him.
You spill a drop of our blood, we spill a gallon of yours.
It's just like,
oh,
where the
shit.
fuck did this come from?
This guy's a fucking badass.
But then he also he was also the first person since like fucking who was it? Oh fuck, Jimmy Carter. That was like, we need to get out of these fucking wars.
well, that's what I mean too.
Now we're just back in 3 more.
I know. We,
Yeah,
well,
we're
we
about-
knew,
yeah,
we
they're
knew
getting
that was
worse.
happening once he left office. It's like, oh, we're gonna get back. You know,
Yeah.
basically,
That's
because
exactly
that's
what
how
happened.
presidents run. That's how they make money.
No, that's how the
I was
military-industrial
gonna say that's-
complex
it's
works.
Really not, because they've never really just pulled out of anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
their
yes,
pull-out
we pulled-
game is
we pulled-
terrible.
We pulled out of Afghanistan,
in a terrible way.
and boy, did we impregnate that place.
oh my
yeah.
god.
Terrible pullout game.
Yeah, no, we
But
definitely.
no, you're right. I mean, Trump was like, he had that whole Middle East thing done. He's like, look, we
Wow,
got sanctions
not
and-
dude,
done.
I'm sorry, but the
Not
Middle
done.
East is never going to be done.
No.
It's dude.
But
There's
he
so much
he definitely calmed
He
things
brokered
down.
peace between the two.
for a very short
It was
period
a
of time.
tenuous piece.
And yeah, it was like a year and a half. And
How
then
many
it
other
fucking
presidents
happened.
have pulled that shit off?
well,
I think Clinton did it once in the fucking
But the-
90s.
but the
for a
thing-
short period of time also. I mean, it never works there. Dude, it's such deep
Yeah.
seated roots of anger and hatred.
it literally goes
for
back
each other that it's
thousands
never
of
gonna fucking stop.
years. It's never gonna stop.
Yeah, well,
It's definitely the Hatfields
I
and
don't see why
McCoys
it's
of
our
the world.
The only,
It really is.
becomes our problem because we have citizens that are both nations.
No, that's not why. It has.
No, there's that one Jewish guy that just got killed at a rally.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, it's not because we have dual citizens. We have dual
No.
citizens everywhere.
because the
Who
thing
gives
is,
a
hey,
shit?
Making
oh,
it our problem.
but
no,
oh,
it's not making
no,
it
no,
our
no.
problem.
It's-
Our problem is we've always said that we'd back Israel. That was our problem.
Well, the thing is
matter
that
what.
in this day and age, everybody seems to have to always get involved with every little thing that goes on. So a lot of these people that are out there protesting and causing problems don't have any fucking skin in the game at all. They're just doing it because they feel like it's the thing to do. It's the current thing. You know?
The son of the guy that created Hamas, he actually put out a video recently.
Oh, did he?
He said the West needs to stay the fuck out of this.
Well, he's right.
Or no, not the West. He said the people that are pro Hamas, pro Palestine.
Yeah.
You guys have no fucking clue.
No,
He's
they
like, I
don't.
grew up with this shit.
Dude, I was watching this
and
video.
he's like, we're gonna kill everyone.
Okay, look, they
He's
were going
fucking
around
nuts.
asking these protesters, these Palestine protesters in like places like New York and stuff, because they're always chanting "From the river to the sea, Palestine."
Yeah,
will
they
be
don't
free."
understand that that's
No,
a genocide.
No,
chant.
but also I know, but also they would go up and ask them, "Do you know what river they're talking about?" And they'd be like, I don't know. I don't know.
Jordan?
It's like it's the River Jordan, yeah.
Yeah.
But none of these fucking people know what they're talking about. They're just doing it because they're fucking zombies.
yeah.
Trying to get laid.
Yeah, they're
no,
just,
that's what it is. It's the male feminist.
It's really-
The
A lot
male
of them
feminist is
are.
like, look, if I'm her friend for long enough, she'll let me in.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the current
I just want to suck her
thing.
toes, man.
Yeah.
I just have a toe fetish.
It's just like with
Look like her
the
fucking toes.
What do you want me to do? I can't. I can't
Well, look,
walk up to
look.
normal.
It's
chicks.
creepy if she's
it's,
asleep.
it's just like with the Ukraine shit
what I've been told.
and the Black Lives Matter shit. All those people posting the stupid black squares and shit on the internet, and then the Ukraine thing. Everyone's posting the Ukraine flag and shit. And it's
I know.
like,
And when
they
I
just-
didn't have a profile pic, I'm like, wait, I'm not on anybody's side.
Right, but the point is that everybody has to get involved with these things that are going on that has nothing to fucking do with them. They have no skin in the game, but they feel they have to get involved
Well, you
because
can have
other
an,
people
look.
are.
I don't have a problem with somebody having an opinion, but a lot of these people have no fucking thought.
No, they don't. They're
You
fucking
ask them about
zombies.
things, and you're like, wait, what? Oh, you want me to answer real questions?
I mean, the
Yeah.
other side of that coin is information. Like a lot of it's.
Oh, there's so much
that's
misinformation.
what I
on
mean.
both
It's like,
sides.
how do you get the correct information?
You have to
when it's
know
not
how to
even out?
research properly.
Well,
and you're never gonna get it.
unless you
It's
have
the
a
same thing with
set
the-
opinion, you're going to be able to find your answers. if
Yeah,
you have a
it's-
But
set
that's the
opinion.
problem
It's-
because
it's the
so
same
many
thing-
people are so biased. They're looking for the thing that will confirm
Well,
their
and
bias.
it's the
That's
same thing
kinda
with
my
the,
point.
the Ukraine war. I mean, it's the same exact thing. People that were like, fuck Putin or fuck Zelensky, they find what they want to find, and they're like,
Yeah.
see, war crimes. They're like, yeah, that's war.
It's war.
War. There's always fucking gonna be like, oh,
There's collateral damage every fucking time.
Exactly.
There's going to be kids killed.
it's not even collateral damage. It's gonna be guy fucking captures two people, and he's like, well, I can't take them, and then executes both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's happened in every fucking war.
Every war.
It doesn't matter what
forever.
war it is. It's going to happen in every war. They're like, hey, look, I got to get to my next objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 10 minutes behind because of you two assholes.
Yeah. 2 bullets are
Here,
cheaper
have-
than
have a
you
cigarette.
know.
Have a,
Yeah.
have a smoke.
Right, right. But, yeah, that's the thing, though. That's what this whole Palestinian thing here is now, or the Ukraine thing, or Israel thing.
I was gonna
It's
say-
just the new current thing
Start
that all
listing
these
countries.
zombies, that
Yeah.
all these zombies get involved with. And when something else
Yeah, but the
comes along
difference is,
next
though-
year, they're going to do the same thing with
Like,
that.
how close are we to World War III?
Getting pretty close.
That's what I was thinking.
Well,
Like,
there was
don't
a-
worry, Tim. It won't happen here.
You don't think so?
No.
You never know.
No.
Well, so we're fine.
I think
Washington State's gravy.
Well, it's not that. It's just that I don't think that, first off, no military is going to be able to get here. That's one.
Not-
You know,
not an
what was
out-
that
not an
movie back in the
external
day where-
military.
No.
What was that movie back in the day?
Internal,
with
though.
That could happen, like sleeper cells. and
Yes.
shit.
Jennifer Grey and all those other.
Oh, are
Charlie
you
Sheen.
trying to bring a movie into this
Yeah.
discussion?
Didn't Russia take over that small city?
Oh yes, you're right.
What the fuck was that movie?
Why don't,
In
why don't you go
fucking-
with Red Dawn, the first
Dawn,
one,
Red
not the
Dawn.
second one, you jackass. The second one's okay.
I don't remember the second one.
The
I'm
second
talking about
one,
Jennifer Grey
you
was
mean
in
the
first one.
remake.
Wait, Jennifer Grey? Which
Jennifer
one's
Grey
she?
was in the first one.
Oh, that's right.
She was in the first one with.
You haven't seen the second one?
I didn't know there was a second
There's
one.
It's a
It's-
remake, and it's
It's
trash.
what, Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah,
like one of his first
yeah.
like big movies.
It was, it has
Yeah, I
him
haven't
and some
seen
other
that
people
one.
in
and
it.
yeah, there's a few other people in it, but yes,
Why do I keep saying Tony Danza? I know that's Tony.
it was
Danza.
Tony Danza.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
No, it's fucking guy who did Roadhouse. I don't know.
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza.
Swayze.
Patrick
Swayze.
Danza.
Swayze was in there. Fucking.
There-
Tiger's Blood was in there. Whatever
Look,
the fuck his
I
name
think there were
was.
some good
Charlie
scenes
Sheen.
in the
Charlie
second
Sheen.
one, but the first one's still better,
I thought.
and it's still
So,
cheesy.
I
the
guess
first one's still cheesy.
the bad guys in the remake were supposed to be China, but
No,
they didn't want
they
to
were
piss-
supposed to be North Korea.
I thought it was supposed to be
No,
China.
it's supposed to be North Korea. This is also.
and then they made it North Korea
I
because they didn't want to piss off
Wait,
the
I don't
Chinese. I thought it was
I
that
don't
way.
remember if you're right on that. I thought they made it like an indescript, like Asian-based thing.
No, I thought they made it North Korea, but originally it was supposed to be China. But then
I
they
think
pissed
you-
off the Chinese, so they were like,
That
we're not going to do that.
That
We're going
might
to change
actually
it to
be
North
White
Korea.
House Down that you're thinking of.
No, it was
Or not? Wait, which was the other one? There's two of those.
the Star
Why
Wars
do they
one.
always come
No,
up
there's
with two?
3 of those.
Why do they always come up with? Well, here. Why do they always come up with like 2 of the exact same fucking movie all the time? It happens.
Oh yeah,
constantly.
they did it with like Volcano and Dante's Peak, Deep
Yes,
Impact,
it happens
Deep
all the
Impact and
time.
Armageddon.
Yeah, those two. I remember those.
Oh, and then there was also another one.
And it's usually 2
a
at a
Quiet
time.
Place and the Silence.
Yes.
it was 2012 and the
Oh, the day
Oh.
after tomorrow.
Day After
Day After
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
And those were within like 6 months of each
Yeah,
other.
they always come out in 2s.
and,
like
and they're
that.
the exact
Yeah.
same fucking movie.
Same fucking
just
movie.
different actors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why does that happen so often?
Well, someone has an idea and pitches it, and they
'Cause
say,
they did that-
we're not going to do that," and then they're like, "We're going to fucking do that."
Well, they
Get
did
this
that
guy
with
outta here.
what Olympus Has Fallen and White House
Oh,
Down.
it was the same with Dread and oh god, what was the
RoboCop?
other one? No, not RoboCop. No, it was remember
Stallone.
No. This was an Asian
Tango and
film.
Cash?
No. It was an
Goonies.
Asian film. Fuck.
Was it Goonies?
It was Goonies.
I think it was Astoria.
This sounds a lot
Goonies
like
was like
Goonies.
30 years later or before.
Okay.
Are you sure it wasn't
Did you
Goonies,
say
though?
it had Asians in it? You said that?
It was definitely Goonies.
It's got to be Goonies. There's that Asian kid.
Yeah, that Data kid.
Yeah.
He
He had
was Asian,
Slick
wasn't he?
Shoes, and then a band named themselves
Slick
after
Shoes?
it.
Are you crazy?
There's a band called Slick Shoes. I think they were kind of a ska band.
Cyndi Lauper was the singer for that. She sang. That
Yeah,
song
she
Good
did.
Enough.
She had 2 songs in that, I think.
Yeah.
I think she had 2.
Fucking.
Oh,
That Good Enough song.
it was
or
called The
whatever.
Raid. Do you remember that movie, The Raid?
No.
So it came out around the same time that Dread did, and basically the story was almost exactly the same. A main character trying to get to the top of this tower to stop a bad guy. And he has to go through his entire gang and everything. And that's basically what Dread's about, but except for Dread
The
takes
new
place.
Dread?
Yeah, the one with
Yeah,
Carl
it
Urban.
was.
Yeah.
He had
And
to-
everyone
he got,
was
he got
pissed off.
trapped
I was
in
gonna
that
say
building.
the old
Yeah.
Dread. I didn't
Not the
remember
old Dread,
tower.
not the
So
Stallone one, the
new
newer
Dread.
one.
All
Yeah.
right, okay.
And
Makes more
so
sense.
this other one, The Raid, came out around the same time, but it was made by an Asian a film company, and it was almost the same story, except for it wasn't about
My guess
Judge
is
Dredd. It
my
was
guess
about
is what happened
some
in that
Asian SWAT team member or
one.
something.
Well, my guess is what happened. That what could have happened in that is that script got somehow leaked over here.
Well, I don't know.
And they're like, "Wow, this would be a great Judge
Well-
Dredd film."
Well, the thing is, none of these companies had any involvement with each other, but they were
No,
making
there-
a similar story. It was
there can be
parallel
thinking. I mean, look,
Yeah.
it's not crazy to be like, you have to get out of this building by climbing to the top of it.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
gotta-
crazy.
and you basically got to kill the leader of the gang or whatever, and get through all of his
Yeah, they
gang
did
to
that
get
in
there.
Umbach.
And that
Remember
was the
when
same
they-
thing in Dread.
Remember when they tried doing first-person shooter movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the first
They
one?
did Doom, and then they did.
Well, Doom had one scene that.
and then
that
they had the
that.
one, the same guy that did Chappie and all those other.
That
ones.
Yes,
what
there
was
was
that
another
action movie?
Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore- there we go.
That was
Henry.
actually pretty cool though.
It was I liked the way it was shot. It
Yeah.
was not a great fucking story.
no,
But
no.
I liked the way
it was like
shot.
a video game almost.
Well,
you know?
they were doing that on YouTube at the time.
You
There
felt
were people doing-
exhausted
Oh,
after
were
it
they?
the whole
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Tim lost 15 pounds.
I've just been sitting here and I'm fucking.
It's like I'm fucking sweating. This is crazy.
It was wild, man. I remember.
Dude,
it.
that's the only time I get that feeling of like, is when you watch the people that fucking climb to the top of a fucking building
Yeah, fuck
and
yeah.
walk around like a moron.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, I don't know how many of them have died in the last few years. I mean, it's like 5 or 6 years.
Well, yeah.
gotta
The,
be like
the more
7 or
popularity,
8
the
of-
more they're gonna die.
Yeah, there was a dude over in I think China that did it.
Slipped and fell.
Slipped and fell right off
Yep.
the top of a fucking building. Like he jumped over, caught himself, but because he used all his arm strength earlier, had no arm strength left at all, and just was hanging there. And he had set up a camera behind him, so you watch all of this.
Yay.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there
sounds
like
pretty
this,
cool.
and then finally like one hand kind of gives up, and then like not long after
Later,
that,
dude.
it's just like goodbye.
So wait, what was he doing there? Like, was he doing
Parkour.
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 He was just doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when that was a huge
Oh,
crate, like
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
I mean, it's still around,
Yeah.
but it's not like this big crate where like
Not
you're
like it
seeing-
was.
Well, yeah, when you
Yeah,
turned
Daniel
on like
Craig did it in one of the fucking
it's been in a bunch of
007
movies.
ones.
Yeah,
They-
it's been in a
Yeah.
bunch of movies
Yeah.
after it became a craze.
Mm-hmm.
Like, But the thing is, though, that also happens in the opposite, where something becomes a craze, and by the time the movie comes out, nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit.
Like Riverdance.
Well, there was one, I guess that I don't know the name of the movie, but apparently, like, one of their opening scenes was like a flash mob, and like flash mobs were nobody cared anymore.
That was so fucking annoying.
It was.
No one cared at all.
I know. I felt that way when it happened. I was like,
Oh,
these flash.
you mean
mobs
like that movie Breakin'?
Was that the one that had it?
No, I was thinking breakdancing in the
Oh.
80s when it was really popular and that movie came out and then nobody was breakdancing anymore.
Or all the fucking movies with like all the fucking cheerleader movies and shit.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right, the cheerleader thing was kind of cool 2 years ago for like all these preteens.
What was that?
It's gonna be cool in
There was-
another 2 years.
Yeah, there was
no,
the
they don't
one
care
with
anymore.
Kirsten Dunst in it, the popular one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step It Up, I think.
I
Was
think
that
it might have been Step It Up.
Bring it on.
Or
Bring It On, that's
it was
it,
one of the
yeah,
two because
yeah.
that's another one that came out in the pairs.
Yeah.
Bring It On and Step It Up,
Step It
all
Up.
that bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, let's dance a bunch.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
dancing
let's-
movies.
Please
not.
do.
Let's not do this.
Please do. You guys are cute. Do it. And then Channing Tatum started dancing too. He's like, oh, sweet.
Fucking
Well,
Magic
those are your
Mike.
favorite movies.
Fuck yeah. Those Magic Mike movies are fucking fun.
Tim. That's why Tim's got
Never
so
saw
many
it.
fucking mouth prints on his fucking TV screen. He's like, how do I fit this
Yeah,
whole thing?
Yeah, we'll say that was my mouth that made that. That's what we'll say.
You're like, my mouth doesn't dribble like this.
It does not have a slit north to south.
Yeah,
But okay.
It is
Yeah,
weird.
they stopped putting disc drives and things, didn't they?
Well, dude, and the thing is, it is kind of funny that like when you were a kid, like some movies would make you go, "Oh, I kind of want to do that now."
yeah, yeah.
Like what was it? Oh fuck, Only the Strong. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah,
that
I
movie?
remember Only the
with
Strong.
capoeira,
Uh-huh.
the dance karate. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that looks fucking cool.
that had
and I've seen it like used once in like UFC.
Mark
That-
Dacascos was in that.
That had to do with the
Who was that?
dreadlocks.
Mark
that did that
Dacascos was
dance?
the one in Only the Strong. He was the
No, I know,
the
but
lead guy.
I don't. Oh, he was the main guy.
He was the main guy,
Okay.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember
Uh-huh.
his name at
Yeah.
all
Oh,
because
okay.
I
Well,
only
he's in other stuff.
but I
like-
only remember him from that.
Oh, okay.
Or
okay.
unless he was in-
he was in John Wick 3, I
Well,
think. He was the
yeah,
bald
but I'm not
Asian
gonna.
guy.
I'm not gonna remember him from
Well,
fucking
okay.
1991. to
He looks
now.
almost the same except for the hair.
Yeah, the bald thing will throw me off. I can't fucking do it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, dude, he's in all
Didn't he
kinds of
do
martial
Iron
arts
Chef
movies.
for a while? Like a season of Iron Chef?
Maybe.
What else did he do?
I think he
What's
did
his
do a
name?
season of Iron Chef.
It's Mark Dacascos.
He has the most American accent.
'Cause he's,
There he
I
is, right
think,
there.
American.
Look at him. He's not American.
John Wick 3, Only the Strong, 1993, Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Wow, he's 60. That's crazy.
He's in good
Yeah,
shape for
the
60.
Asians-
Cradle to the Grave.
They hit it for there's a moment in their career where
Drive.
they get old like Jet Li.
Jet Li, dude, I didn't realize he was like 45 when he fucking
yeah.
became big.
Yeah.
He was in Double Dragon back in the 90s. You remember that
isn't
movie?
it- yeah, but isn't it insane that when Jet Li like blew up in the U.S., he was in his almost like late 40s.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're like, oh, he looks like he's like 25.
Yeah.
I totally thought
Dude,
he was the whole
'cause-
fucking
Yeah,
time.
and then like
It's like,
10
yeah,
years.
he's got a kind of a wrinkly face,
It's
but maybe
because
that's
Asians
just
age way
Well,
better
then-
than the rest
and
of
then,
us do.
Then like 10 years later, you're like, who's this super old guy?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he looked like the fucking dude in Inception.
Yeah, we pulled him
with
up
the
on the
fucking,
show
with the
years-
fake head.
It was wild, man.
You know what I'm talking
I know
about?
what you're talking about. Yeah, he was in a bunch of shit,
I
though.
watched that. Well, we talked
to
about
think of-
Omni Man before, but have you ever seen the show yet?
No,
Called it
Invincible.
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 No.
Really good series.
I've never watched the show, but I read a few of the comics.
Well, I think I'm not 100% because I never looked it up, but I think it's another Rogan thing, like The Boys. I think Rogan has his hands in this as well.
Why?
Well, he does a couple characters in it.
Rogan does?
Yeah.
Well, no,
No.
the Invincible
Rogen.
Invincible
Seth
is made
Rogen. I thought you
by
meant Joe Rogan. I was like,
Invincible's
I don't
made by the
remember.
same guy that made the Walking Dead comic.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm saying The Boys.
Was it? What's his
Like
name?
Boys,
Seth
that's-
Rogen was tied to The
The
Boys.
show,
Yeah.
not the comic though.
But I think Seth Rogen's also tied to the he's tied
The
in
show
producing
version of Invincible.
Invincible, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
maybe he is.
the animation's fantastic. The graphic, oh my fucking
Yeah,
god.
they got the animation just like the comic was drawn.
And the way
you know?
I mean, it's fucking violent.
Oh, yeah.
it is fucking.
Oh, yeah.
He rips folks in half.
Because
Just-
Omni Man's
just-
like a fucking almost evil Superman. You know?
Yeah.
He's
Well,
like
I like the
yeah.
fact that they're gonna have the fatality that he does, where he fucking brings someone to a subway, and just lets the
Yeah,
subway
that
go
was
through
his
him.
fucking son.
Yeah, well they have that in the fucking game,
Yeah.
and it's badass. Like the is gone, or the subway cars are gone, and then he's just holding like this fucking almost like puppet looking version of them because they've been so torn apart.
Yeah.
And then like their arm falls off, and he's just kind of just hovering there.
Yeah,
looks fucking great.
I think I actually saw that
Yeah,
fatality.
it's fucking great. I was like, dude, that's cool that they took a fatality from the show,
Right.
and put it in. I can't wait to see what they do with Homelander or not. Yeah, Homelander.
Homelander's a good one.
And Peacemaker. Peacemaker's going to be interesting.
That's right. Yeah, you were saying they had Peacemaker.
T-1000
Well, that'd be
apparently is supposed to be in the next one.
Nice.
Yeah, T-1000. I can't remember who the horror person. I think they have one horror person. But I don't remember.
Chucky.
No, that would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff. Like I'll scroll through YouTube and find shit. But there's a guy that's trying to like. I don't know if he's making the game or if he's just coming up with like concept stuff and just like letting it play out on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
But he does horror games where it's horror fighting games where you take all these horror characters from all throughout all the past movies, like the original Dracula from like the 1920s.
Oh yeah,
films.
so they're going all the way back.
All the way up to like the newest shit that we have now. And he's got like 50 of them, and it just looks interesting.
Yeah.
But the problem with trying to do a game like that would be getting the licenses for every single one, because
That would
every
be
single
hard.
one is owned by somebody different.
Yeah.
Well, they did a show where they would, live action actors would play these roles, and they would say, "What would happen if Wolverine fought Wonder Woman?"
Yeah, there was one on YouTube that was
But that's
like that.
fine.
Yeah,
That
those
was
were
pretty
fucking
good.
cool as
Yeah.
shit.
But
There's
those,
one of it's called Bat in the Sun, where they have like all the people dress up like him, like they had Wolverine versus the Predator.
Yeah.
and it was badass. It was all live action.
Yeah, that's
you
what
know?
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That one was fucking
yeah,
cool
I've
as shit.
seen that.
Oh, dude,
They're great.
Yeah, they're
It
really
sounds
good.
Like it sounds
Because
like a
they do
Spike
this,
show.
they do the statistics of
I
each
mean, it
of,
kinda does,
of
but-
how their strengths
It
and
does,
weaknesses
yeah.
are and how it would.
Oh
play out.
yeah, Death Battle does that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Remember the Spike show where they did what was the name of the show?
Deadliest Warrior.
Deadliest
Yes.
Warrior. Yeah,
Yeah,
remember
it was
that?
I remember
basically
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
basically
what I'm
like
saying.
that,
It
yeah.
sounds like a Spike show.
It totally is.
Deadliest
yeah.
Warrior. I
Yeah.
remember Deadliest Warrior. That I can relate to because I remember watching that shit. They were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
who would win, Spetsnaz or the fucking Navy SEALs?
Yeah.
Let's fucking have them fight."
Yeah.
Well, and that's basically what Death Battle is.
Gladiator and a fucking.
Yeah. The Sherman tank versus a gladiator. Or
This is gonna be good.
like 75 millimeter cannon straight to the dome.
Oh,
You're like, all right, that was all simulations ended with death for the gladiator.
pretty quick. They did have that one spear, but
They would. The best part was they'd always build it up. Like, if you think their weapons are cool, look at these weapons. He's got a boomerang, and you're like, what? It's an
they do the statistics of the boomerang. You're like, okay, so it's
Aborigine versus the fucking versus Oppenheimer.
wood. Zulu.
Yeah, there was one where it was like samurai versus a knight, like a medieval
Yeah.
knight.
Yeah.
That one was pretty cool.
But that one could have been feasibly possible.
well, sure, because
That's-
the samurai did exist. I think around
like the
in similar
1400s
times
to, like, the
that-
16,
yeah.
17,
So if
something like
they
that.
could have met on a
Yeah, that's what I
battlefield
mean.
somewhere,
That one
yeah.
could have been possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not likely. You're not.
No.
How many nights are you sending from England to Japan?
Right. They
Or
were on
vice
other
versa.
sides of the
Well,
planet.
you got
yeah.
Tom Cruise going over there. I mean,
Yeah, that's right. He was the last
he was
samurai.
the last samurai, so
That's right. Back when white people were the last of
Yeah.
everything.
comes in twos.
Yeah. And
Dude,
that is actually
that happens so many times
So
in
the
movies.
Last Samurai story is actually based on something that really happened, but there was no white man involved.
Of course not. I'm sure Dances with Wolves is the
Yeah.
same fucking thing.
Right.
It's Kevin Costner's
Yeah.
fucking the last samurai.
No, that lead samurai though, the head of that like village, that Tom Cruise is
Yeah.
in. That guy actually existed. So did his village.
Is that Chow Yun Fat?
And that
still
final
never seen- I've
no,
never
that
seen
was
it.
Ken Watanabe.
Yeah, Ken
But yeah,
Watanabe.
he,
Oh,
that
yeah,
battle at the
Scorpion.
end. Yeah,
Is
yes.
that Scorpion?
I don't think.
No,
he
wait,
played
what did-
Scorpion.
No.
No, that's
was
Hiroyuki Sanada.
That's not even the
Yeah.
same name, Kevin.
No, it's not. But no, that
Why would
battle
you
at the
mislead
end,
me with
that battle
saying
at the
something?
end of Last Samurai, where they're charging and then they get gunned down by the Gatling gun and shit.
yeah.
That actually happened. That battle.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Gatling guns.
So there was stuff
beat out
in that
things.
movie that was based on reality, but then they made
Yeah,
it fictionalized.
same with Young Guns. Young Guns had some things based on reality.
Well, yeah, it did.
Young Guns is great.
It is
That's
a cool
great-
movie.
I
It is a
really
cool
liked that
movie.
That was good.
I liked it a lot.
It was a cool movie.
The second one kind of sucked, but
Well, yeah, the second
first
one did
was
suck.
great.
Yeah, no, the first one was good.
They did peyote in the first one, right?
I
Is that
think
the
that
one?
I
was
think
the one.
I think that was the first
The
one.
hillsides.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Where Lou Diamond Phillips
she's
is
my
like,
flower, and I'm her honeybee.
he's just saying nonsense.
And then Lou Diamond Phillips broke out with La Bamba.
Yeah. Somehow Lou Diamond Phillips got in a plane crash in the scene. It was fucking crazy.
Peyote, some crazy shit, man.
Dude, I loved La Bamba.
That's
when
a great
I was
movie.
Kid. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, I fucking loved that.
It's a really good movie.
And I remember when I went to Mexico with my mom when I was like 9 years old,
I'll bet you were super fucking disappointed.
telling a kid or telling my mom, I'm like, yeah, he's not playing that right. And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. Why the fuck would I know what he's saying and shit? Or not, it wasn't playing, singing that right.
Yes, because
You know, phonetic-
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, no, that's nonsense. He's speaking gibberish.
It's
Get
'cause
the
you
real
know-
guy
you know
on
it,
it.
look, phonetically.
I know, it doesn't sound right. So, yeah, I remember saying that to my mom. We're like, yeah, I don't think this kid understands Spanish. I'm 9. I don't know Spanish
your
at all.
mom's getting some drugs dealed behind you.
Of course.
No, I think we
It's in
might have.
Mexico.
I think we might
Check out
have
a donkey show.
eaten like dog down there though, because we got some street taco thing that didn't taste like normal meat.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't.
You
eat
sure
or
you weren't
drink
in
anything
China?
down there.
No, it was, but it was just weird. Like it just didn't taste right to any of us.
Well, of course not. You're right. It probably
May
is
have been dog, but then
Yeah.
again, it could have just
or
been
they could have
cooked
just
differently.
shit in a pot and said, "Let's see if we can get the English to fucking eat this."
The English? That's how they call us. They're like,
yeah.
we don't trust you, English.
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 were in
Why are they
China.
Chinese now? Tim?
Because you were in
Aren't they
China.
all? I mean, that's how they.
Oh, that's true. I find out, I'm in China. I'm like, how did I end up here?
During the dog
I remember
festival.
driving the whole way. Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, China
That's disgusting.
technically put a stop to that.
They technically, that's.
But
yeah.
I mean, that's just not. I mean, I'm sure it still happens.
Of
They
course.
just go, yeah, don't
fucking
record
monstrous.
this, you fucking
Yeah.
idiots.
Well,
fucking cruel
also,
and
like,
monsters.
I think we're the only nation that decides what's cute and what isn't, what's edible and what isn't when it
No,
comes to animals.
that happens
I don't
other
think
places
that's true.
too.
Yeah, others
India,
do.
they fucking worship cows.
Yeah, you cannot fucking ever kill a cow.
You don't kill a
over there.
cow in fucking India.
Oh, that's good.
They're
Yeah,
holy.
so that's the thing. I mean, like everybody has their own fucking.
Well, yeah, but they're all
Thing.
vegan and shit like that in India.
I don't
Not all
think
of them,
so.
but I think you're right though. That there's a lot of veganism.
Yeah.
But they also don't fucking tell everybody that they're a vegan.
Well, maybe
hey,
they should.
Hey, guess what? I just became vegan 3 weeks ago, and boy, is it hell! Shut the fuck up.
No, these
I
are
don't
vegan
care.
eggs.
Yeah.
I keep getting cramps.
They're like, no, have you tried this fucking meat substitute? No, I haven't tried it. Shut the fuck up.
Why would I spend $5 more for something I know is going to taste like ass?
Eat
Well, I
the
just-
bugs.
The thing is, I don't have a. You want to be vegan. Shut the fuck up, though.
Oh, do
Same
you-
with you CrossFitters.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up.
Did you hear about that? Oh, so Tyson Meat Corporation, which is one of the biggest meat corporations in the country.
They're changing their logo from a turkey because it's offensive
No,
to turkeys.
no, they're going to start using
No.
bug
Thought we were going back
protein in meat.
Beg pardon? How do you know that?
It's
because he
people
read
been
it on
talking
the
about it.
internet.
Snowpiercer?
There was some Snowpiercer. No, there was some articles about it. It's something that
He
they're
found it
getting
on
involved in.
4chan.
Over the next couple of years, they're going to start heavily getting into that.
Well, I mean,
Dude, that's going to happen worldwide at some point.
That's what they say.
I mean, seriously, it's going to happen at some point where we're going to get protein supplement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like, oh, we're just out of fucking food.
Yep.
Like, why are we out of food? Well, America throws away most of it.
yeah,
And then-
they've already got cricket protein.
Yeah, no,
powders.
that's- Dude,
It's starting.
People,
Yeah.
I remember people bringing fucking.
Oh, you put it in your coffee.
It's not like
Well-
mass produced yet, but
No,
it's,
but it'll-
it
it-
will.
it'll
eventually.
happen as
It's
a
a whey
supplement.
substitute.
But
oh my
yeah.
fucking god, dude!
But I remember when I was in school, their kids would bring back from like their vacations to like Europe
Crickets
and
and
shit.
all
Like
that shit, yeah.
chocolate covered crickets, ants, shit like that. And it's like I didn't want to try that stuff.
Fuck that.
I was
Well,
like,
do you think a vegan would eat a bug?
no,
No.
but they'll eat a screaming plant that they can't hear.
Yeah.
Screaming.
They do scream.
It doesn't want to die, Tim.
We
No, I
just
know.
can't hear
It's
them.
just- that's a good question. Like, is a bug considered?
Yeah, they would. I think it depends. Is it annoying?
Yeah.
You know, that's how we do things.
I mean,
We go,
how many
fuck.
bugs are killed to keep them off their vegan plants?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All of them.
No, all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But they
I mean,
don't-
Where do you draw the
See,
line
that's
there?
one thing about
That's the thing.
veganism. They don't realize how many animals and insects that are killed to create their
soy
vegan
proteins
stuff.
and all
Well,
that.
the other thing
food.
that sucks too is they always will state like, oh, if you eat meat, you get heart disease, and it's like, no. Do we know what the rest of the things that they were eating was? Was that meat on a bun? You know, did that meat have fucking 8 other layers on it?
Yeah,
Bacon
it's a little
Yeah,
more
that-
complicated than just
But
the
that's
meat
the thing. They would
itself.
just say, "Yeah, no, I had meat for that meal." It's like, well, what else did you have? Because they did that. All it was
Yeah.
just
Ice
ask questions
cream.
and answer type fucking thing. They didn't do blood work or any of
No.
that. I mean, I'm sure they did later.
Later,
But they didn't
yeah.
go, "Oh no, you're definitely eating all this other stuff." Like, how many fries did you have with that fucking piece of meat? You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
Of course, somebody that's just eating plants at that point is probably going to be healthier.
Yeah, they're saying that one of the cons of insect protein, parasites.
Oh,
And the fact that you're eating insects.
yippee, tapeworms
Ooh.
for
Yeah.
everybody.
I can't wait.
That one that takes over the creatures.
That's what I want.
Yeah, what's that
I
called?
was just gonna say
The
that,
little
Tim.
worm thing that comes out of them. And
I
shit
don't
like
want the worm. Fucking no. Bring on the fungus.
Yeah.
Bring on the fungus.
Cordyceps.
Let's get
Cordyceps.
let's get the Last of Us man going.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That's going to be the
Look,
start of it.
I
is
could travel to
bug
Seattle
protein.
just
Bug
like in the
protein.
game,
Yeah, right.
or to Colorado. Either way. I mean, they're not.
Are they even going to do a second season of that or what? It's been a year and a half.
Yeah,
hasn't
they're
it?
gonna do a
Yeah,
second
but it
season.
takes a while to make
Christ.
that.
They're
stuff.
already. They're making. I think they were making it. Oh no, there's.
I
also
thought they
another
were
strike
filming it
going
when
on.
it was out.
There's 2 strikes that happened. There was
Oh,
the writer's
God damn
strike.
it.
Yeah,
And
that
now there's
slowed a lot of.
there's another
production
strike
down.
going on,
Yeah,
too. I
it's
forget what
it's
it
still
is.
the writer's strike.
Oh, the writer's strike.
Yeah, because they haven't.
Oh,
come
that's
to
right. They had an
agreement.
actor's strike at one point
right.
or something like
but
that.
the writer's strike and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they haven't
Dunes-
come to
no,
a
the
full agreement.
the writer's strike is over.
Well, no, yeah, right. But there's an actor one going on.
That's what. There was
and-
something else.
Yeah, they haven't come to like a full agreement or
Yeah.
something. So.
And so right now, this is why it pisses me off because I want to see Deadpool.
oh,
and
it'll be around. It'll come.
But the writer's strike happened while Deadpool's filming.
Yeah.
Then this other strike happens like right as they're getting ready to film again. And it's like, what the fuck?
I said just pull it up. Dune 2 is scheduled out next year, 2024, and they've already got the preview for it.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen the trailer. For
the
it,
first
so it's
one's
gonna be good.
okay.
I thought
But
that
it was a fucking amazing.
Look,
dude.
I thought it was a good movie.
So look, I love. Okay, Dune, the book, is one of my favorite science fiction novels of all time. The first movie they did, I thought they did a really good job.
I agree, but what my only point is that I think that it feels more like a setup to things than it does to be like its own story.
Well, I mean,
you know
it's
what
basically
I mean?
the first half of
No,
the book.
I understand that, but that like usually there's conclusions and shit in like a 2-part thing. Usually they have a conclusion at the end of
well,
one and then a
the
conclusion
problem
at the end
is
of the
that
other.
what they're doing is instead of doing one movie, they're splitting up one book into 2 movies.
Which is fine, and
You know,
and I would
it should be one full movie.
I feel
So-
that they should have released it like sooner. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree.
This is one of the reasons why I would like I like binging shows that
Yeah.
have they
It's
can
already
keep a
all out, so
continuous
you can-
line.
yeah.
They
you
should
know?
have done what they did with like Lord of the Rings, where they finished it all and
Yeah.
then they put them out like one year after the other. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's
that would've
kind
been
of it's
ideal.
almost what they're doing, but it's like almost 2 years.
It's been
they
2
did-
years, yeah.
They did that with Back to the Future as well.
They did exactly.
Back to the Future. Great.
But
Great
like,
series.
but that's the thing is like, they popped like the Lord of the Rings movies. They filmed them all at once, and then completed them, and then released them a year after each other, so that people were still fresh with,
Right.
the story and everything.
Right.
But here's
But
my,
no, I remember talking about Dune. You didn't like how the latest one came a little bit more woke. How they changed. a bit of
Yeah, I didn't like some of the changes they made,
Yeah.
but other than that, I liked everything
Yeah.
else about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for instance, one of the things I
love the
thought
ornithopter in it.
was kind of silly
was
was
fucking
they
badass.
made the planetologist a black woman. The thing is, in the Dune story, by the universe's gender roles, a woman could not be that person. She could not be a planetologist.
yeah,
It has to be a man because
I kind of
also
agree. I don't like
the
it when they
f-
change
well,
things
yeah,
like that because
also-
they're trying to send a message with that.
Well, right, because also the thing
know?
is, the planetologist in the book is also the head of the Fremen, and the head of the Fremen also cannot be a woman; it has to be a male in their culture. So that's 2 things they basically changed for wokeness.
and
in the
you
movie.
got to be great to live with.
I'm saying,
Get in the
dude,
kitchen,
it's my
bitch.
favorite. It's one of my favorite books of
No,
all
I know,
time. So
I
that's
know.
why I know about how the gender roles
But
in that galactic
that's the thing.
universe works.
I agree.
That's
I don't.
part
I
of the
don't-
storyline.
It's
That's how it
part
makes
of
it
the
work.
story.
It's
Yeah.
also part
Right.
of the
Yeah.
whole this is part of the message within the story, type
Right.
of thing. Like, hey, some of these things are fucked
Yeah.
up.
Well, and also they killed the character differently than they do in the book. Because in the book, she didn't die. The planetologist didn't die trying to escape you know, at the end there, you know, when she gets killed by the Harkonnens or whatever, and she makes the worm come and eat them all.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen in the book. In the book, the Harkonnens capture him and leave him for dead out in the desert, and the person ends up dying of thirst and everything, and then ends up falling onto this it's called like a
I'm sure they did it in this.
it's called
one,
a
though.
spice like a collection or whatever, where the spice collects in the desert into this like bubble, and then is explosive, and he falls onto that and literally just gets blown up as he's dying of thirst. You know,
That's
But
the
you're
way to go.
you're misgendering him.
whatever.
It's a she.
It's a she.
It was a he in the goddamn book,
Kevin,
and in the previous
You
the
know what?
movie
They
that
should
came
just,
out in the
they should
80s.
just they should just make all genders devoid in movies.
Well, like I said, this is based on a book.
I mean,
And like I said, it doesn't matter if she was
That
a
would be-
black. It could have been a
that's the
black
way we should
male.
go.
It could have been. It
really-
would have been fine if it was black or Chinese or whatever. It doesn't matter. The fact that it's a female
Kevin's
character
seething
does
inside
not
now.
fit. Does not fit the
Kevin's just
universe's
like-
gender roles.
Kevin's like, I only want white people as doctors. That's it.
I just said it didn't matter what fucking race the character was, as long as it was a male.
Contrast is so stark.
Kevin starts speaking German. It's like,
Sliding his hair back, getting really worked up.
Where's my Hugo Boss coat?
Kevin starts dressing snappy. And not like a fucking
A
burglar.
lot of starch.
Oh, man. That's
It's
hilarious.
racist as fuck.
All right. I think we can end that.
Oh, that's it, huh? All right.
That was actually pretty good timing. An accident. Thank you for listening to the show. If you like the show, like it, subscribe, do all that shit. You know, follow us, comment,
Yeah, give us some feedback,
rate,
guys.
rate and review.
Love
Yes.
to hear from you.
Hit the like button. Smash it.
You guys not going into your thing?
I'm tired, man.
Okay.
Go to Coffee Brand Coffee. Use the coupon code GPS1 to get 5% off your purchase.
How much coffee have you drank of theirs?
All of it.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's all amazing.
That's a lot. All right. Goodbye, everyone.